Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We're gonna get through this.
I seen him on something. He looked like a bum.
Floyd?
Yeah, he looking like a bum. Had like he ain't shaved in months.
Oh yeah, I seen that too.
There's no way this man is broke. There's no way.
Yeah.
If he is,
I don't know
where the money went to.
Exactly.
You know what? Yeah, what y'all say earlier?
He ran up $1 billion.
What'd you say?
My first investment was real estate.
Wow.
I went from commercial real estate, huge, skyscrapers actually. So I own what I own.
Bragging now.
No, I'm not
now
bragging.
You're bragging.
No.
Yeah, I think yeah.
And I'm pointing like this because
Floyd Mayweather image of endless wealth is beginning to fall apart. And now, it's not just critics questioning him. Lawsuits, struggling business ventures, unverified real estate claims, and his constant attempts to prove he's still rich are all raising serious doubts. After making bold claims about owning properties that reportedly were never fully under his name, and after all the controversy surrounding those deals, Mayweather has now reportedly lost partial ownership of several properties. For someone who built his reputation around displaying luxury and financial power, the growing silence surrounding his money situation is becoming impossible to ignore. The warning signs are everywhere. Mayweather could genuinely be facing financial trouble, or, at the very least, moving dangerously close to it.
It gets worse. Your jeweler filed a lawsuit against you in Miami, and many are saying you're gonna have to sell off your assets. I hate
It all began with another bold claim. Floyd Mayweather, never known for being modest, announced earlier this year that he owned 62 apartment buildings across New York City, valued at more than $42 million. Not partnerships, not investments, but full ownership. The statement was meant to reinforce the image he's spent years building, proving that the man who calls himself TBE was still dominating life long after boxing. Luxury real estate, private jets, expensive jewelry, and non-stop displays of wealth all helped paint the picture of a billionaire living untouched by reality. But online records have a way of exposing the truth. And property documents don't simply disappear.
how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings,
That's when Business Insider stepped into the story. In a harsh report released in May, the outlet openly questioned Floyd Mayweather claims. Investigators reportedly found no official records directly connecting him to ownership of the apartment buildings he bragged about. No signatures, no verified legal ties. Some of the properties were linked to shell companies, a strategy often used by wealthy investors. But even then, there was still no solid proof showing Mayweather had direct control over them. The report never claimed he was completely broke. It simply argued that his numbers and public statements didn't fully match reality. And if there's one thing Mayweather protects more than his undefeated record, it's his public image.
Investments, I would be making $300 million a month.
What investment is that?
In real estate, I'm heavy in real estate. Even though I got a lot of cash, OPM. You don't always have to use your money. That's why it's very important for y'all to...
So, he responded with a lawsuit, filing a massive $120 million case accusing Business Insider of damaging his reputation and deliberately attacking his name. That decision alone sparked major attention. If Floyd Mayweather truly had complete ownership of the assets he claimed, many believed the easier response would have been simple proof: property titles, verified documents, or official LLC records. Instead, the situation quickly turned into a legal battle over public perception and media coverage. To critics, it looked less like confidence and more like an attempt to contain the fallout before the story grew even bigger.
That's what I do every day. Shop. I ain't nothing like a couple bucks. Greg, come with me.
But the problems didn't end there. While the lawsuit was still making headlines, another business connected to Floyd Mayweather started showing serious cracks in public view. His fitness franchise, Mayweather Boxing Plus Fitness, had been promoted as a major part of his post-boxing empire. The brand promised a worldwide chain of gyms built around the Mayweather image, offering intense training programs designed to make ordinary people feel like elite fighters. But according to another investigation from Business Insider, the company has been struggling badly. Reports claimed that more than half of the franchise locations across the United States had already shut down, while former franchise owners filed lawsuits totaling over $8 million, accusing the company of misleading business practices, excessive fees, and broken promises.
The patches on my trunk, that's 30 million alone. So who's really the smartest one in the sport of boxing? And they say, well, it's not all about the money. Well, your kids can't eat legacy. They can eat off the currency. If you guys don't want to see me do no exhibitions, don't come, don't watch. I come on record and tell.
They claim Floyd Mayweather's name was heavily used to attract franchise buyers, backed by flashy marketing campaigns, promises of his involvement, and optimistic revenue projections. But in reality, reports suggest his direct participation was minimal, often limited to brief promotional appearances or videos. As a result, several franchise owners say they were left dealing with financial losses, with some even going bankrupt as their expectations collapsed. Instead of addressing the growing criticism head-on, he has largely stayed behind legal representation and avoided direct answers. And for a man who built his legacy on being untouchable in the ring, critics say he has recently been absorbing heavy damage outside of it.
The Business Insider did, talking about this $400 million property deal that he had been discussing here in New York City. But now, according to Business Insider, it's not what you think it is. They said there's no evidence there's been a sale of these properties, and it's 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Here is what
Floyd Mayweather's name was again pulled into public debate after comments from Stephen A. Smith. His tone was calm, but the message landed hard. It sounded like Mayweather might be broke, or at least feeling pressure to constantly prove his wealth. He pointed out that Mayweather's repeated displays of money and luxury could suggest overcompensation rather than confidence. That kind of statement carried weight because it didn't come from critics or online rumors, but from someone who has spent years watching top athletes rise and fall under public scrutiny. To many observers, it added more fuel to an already growing narrative that there may be more going on behind the scenes than the image he presents.
It was New York real estate. So it started off with 7 figures, and I was getting a certain amount of money every month. When I first gave them $5 million, I was getting $50,000 a month. So I said, yo, the money kept coming on the 18th every month. 50,000 would come in. I still was competing, I still was fighting, I still was
Even the way Floyd Mayweather has responded hasn't helped quiet the noise. In one Instagram post, standing next to a private jet, he joked that if this is what being broke looks like, he'd prefer to stay broke. It's the kind of flex that once might have dominated headlines, but in today's climate, it didn't land the same way. Public perception has shifted, and luxury displays alone don't carry the same impact they once did. At the same time, rumors have continued circulating from unnamed sources suggesting his spending remains extremely high, with reports pointing to ongoing costs tied to property taxes, travel, and maintaining an extravagant lifestyle even after retirement. Critics also argue that his habits haven't changed much since his fighting days. Private flights, large entourages, and high-end spending still define his routine. But without clear financial transparency, the gap between perception and reality continues to fuel speculation about how sustainable that lifestyle really is.
People are always in my fucking business, worried about what I'm doing, what Floyd is doing, what Floyd ain't doing, what I do got, what I don't got.
There's also growing talk around Floyd Mayweather jewelry collection, especially the so-called billion-dollar watch reputation built over the years. It's been presented as a symbol of extreme wealth, with pieces said to be worth more than what many athletes earn in their entire careers. But financial experts often point out that luxury watches, especially custom-made ones, don't necessarily retain value unless they are rare, collectible, or museum-grade pieces. In many cases, they can actually depreciate significantly after purchase. The same argument is made about his cars, mansions, and private jets. They may look like assets, but they also come with massive maintenance costs and don't always hold value the way people assume. What some observers find more revealing isn't what he's actively building, but what he's not doing. There's little public sign of new business expansions, tech investments, or major brand launches in recent years. Instead, the narrative has shifted toward maintaining what already exists, and for someone known for constantly expanding his image and influence, that shift in behavior is exactly what keeps the speculation alive.
Here on the show, Floyd Mayweather said he dropped $402 million on 62 Manhattan rental buildings. But Business Insider went and did the research. They did their Googles, and they said they couldn't find any receipts that this is true. There were no deed transfers, no public records, nothing. They made some phone calls to owners, and they could not.
At this point, it's no longer just about whether Floyd Mayweather is struggling financially today. The bigger focus has shifted to the direction things seem to be heading. He's dealing with aging, legal disputes, ongoing public criticism, and questions around some of his business ventures all at the same time. Instead of showing signs of major expansion or new opportunities, critics say he appears more focused on defending what he already has. Rather than building fresh ventures or announcing new large-scale investments, the narrative around him has leaned toward maintaining an existing image of wealth. And for someone who built a career on control, confidence, and silence in the face of pressure, the growing public doubt has become its own kind of challenge. Because once that perception starts to shift, even long-standing symbols of success begin to be questioned. Whether he still holds significant assets or not, the real discussion has moved toward sustainability. How long any lifestyle like this can realistically continue under constant pressure, scrutiny, and change.
In New York City.
Oh, embarrassing. Floyd, you're 50 years old. You're a legend in the sport. I've stood up for you in countless interviews, including Shannon Sharp's podcast last week. But you have to stop embarrassing yourself with these exhibitions. I know life is hard. I know life is expensive, but come
behind the flashy Instagram reels and exotic vacation posts, a louder narrative has been building that the empire around Floyd Mayweather may not be as untouchable as it once seemed. And much of that talk is now coming from inside the boxing world itself. What began as quiet concern has turned into more public criticism, especially from people who have either shared the ring era with him, worked alongside him, or been part of the business ecosystem built around his name. The sharper comments aren't just from online critics anymore. Figures such as Amir Khan, industry voices like Eddie Hearn, and even younger fighters who once looked up to his rise have all, in different ways, started questioning the image versus the reality. Across those different perspectives, a similar theme keeps appearing: speculation and claims that Mayweather's current financial strength and stability may not fully match the public persona he continues to project.
It's a lot more, but that's just one of the portfolios I happen to purchase in 2024.
Wow, and that's how it's blossoming.
Well, you know, the number is growing each and every day. Like I said, the number is growing each and every day. That's one of my buildings in Manhattan. And as you can see, everything down bottom, from top to bottom I own, all the way down. And
when Amir Khan spoke about Floyd Mayweather, it immediately caught attention across the boxing world. Khan described Mayweather's situation as the result of years of controversy, public arrogance, and a lifestyle built on constant displays of wealth and dominance. What made his comments stand out wasn't just the content, but the certainty in his tone. He didn't frame it as speculation or rumor. He spoke as if it were already understood, even directly suggesting that Mayweather was going through bankruptcy. While no supporting documents were presented, the impact came from how firmly the claim was delivered. In public perception, that kind of confidence can sometimes be more damaging than evidence itself, especially when it targets a figure whose image has always been built on control and invincibility.
150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically...
When Amir Khan expanded on his criticism of Floyd Mayweather Jr., he also connected it to Mayweather's recent public appearances and political statements, including his visible support for Israel. In Khan's view, that shift was not ideological, but driven by financial motivation. He alleged that Mayweather could be receiving payment for such endorsements, suggesting that even his public political positioning might be influenced by money. These are serious claims, and they remain unverified, but the way they were presented added fuel to the broader discussion around Mayweather's financial image. If even partially believed, such suggestions challenge the long-standing perception of Mayweather as someone completely detached from financial pressure. Instead, they introduce a narrative where every public move is reinterpreted through the lens of money and survival, further intensifying scrutiny around his current status.
Back to fight. Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and...
When Amir Khan continued speaking about Floyd Mayweather, he went beyond political commentary and repeated circulating rumors about legal trouble in Dubai, including claims of detention, house arrest, and financial issues such as bounced checks. Khan himself admitted he did not have any documents to verify these allegations, instead suggesting he had heard it from people in the government. While unverified hearsay like this would not carry weight in a legal setting, it often behaves differently in public discourse. Given the existing scrutiny around Mayweather's finances and business dealings, such claims added further speculation and intensified the ongoing debate about his image.
Andrew Mathias, great business guy. This is what he told me one day. We took a walk. We was in New York. We was taking a walk. He said, you see that building right there? He said, yeah. We said, we own that. You see this building? We own it. So we was walking and walking. Then he said, a boxer makes money when he boxing. A football player makes money when he playing football. Basketball player makes money when he playing basketball. He said, but New York real estate, you make money.
Then came comments attributed to Eddie Hearn, whose reputation in the sport gives his words extra weight. His criticism wasn't emotional or speculative, it was framed in a more measured, business-like tone. He pointed to Floyd Mayweather post-retirement exhibition fights, arguing that the pattern of repeated appearances against influencers cross over. Athletes and non-elite fighters raises questions about motivation and direction. In that view, the concern wasn't just about the opponents, but the consistency of these events and what they represent. Hearn's implication, as interpreted by critics, was that continuing to return for such exhibitions could suggest financial motivation rather than sporting ambition. While that remains a matter of opinion rather than fact, it has added another layer to the ongoing debate around Mayweather's post-boxing career and public image.